I'm your host, Madisen O'Shields, here alongside Roman Raffaeli. Roman, a physical game here. What have you seen in the first half?
Yeah, you know, two teams that really went on some runs in that first half. It was the Wildcats jumping out to a 13-4 lead, and then Southern Utah, towards the end of that second half, really battled back. Two scrappy teams, two teams that are coming into this on losing streaks. For the Wildcats, that's 4 games. For the Thunderbirds, that's 2 games, but ultimately, now is the time to start turning it up in WAC play, looking towards the tournament.
Yeah, let's look at some first half stats here. Roman, what jumps off the screen here to you?
Well, for me, it's Rich Smith. Obviously had a tough game for the Wildcats on Thursday. He's been their guy in conference play because teams have let him score and said, we're going to shut down Braden Hubbard. We're going to shut down Sebo Newton. Today, he's having a great day, taking advantage of his looks, 5 of 7. And for Southern Utah, Jaden Farrow, just not a great half. I mean, he's perfect from the field, but he's getting covered down low. They're doubling him a lot in the paint. Elijah Duvall has stepped up with 11 points there, but what's not on there is Mashai Hill making his first start in WAC play, 6 points, 3 or 4 from the field, and 3 rebounds for the Wildcats. And that's not a crazy stat line, but it's efficient. It's exactly what they need it to be, and he's just been such a presence inside. He's got a block there as well and really put the Wildcats in a good spot.
Yes. Now let's take a look at some replays from the first half. ACU getting a lot of good offensive looks here from many people. Yeah,
really a team effort, and that was a big key coming into today is, you know, everyone needs to contribute. Everyone needs to start digging this team out of that 4 losing streak hole, and that's exactly what they've done. It's worked inside. It's worked a little bit on the outside. Rivera had a huge 3 on the outside. Christian Alston got into it. Really nice to see the sophomore getting some good looks. And, of course, Sebo Newton and Rich Smith leading the way. Joseph Van Zandt has been really nice defensively. It's just been balanced, really all over the place for the Wildcats, and that's what's put them in a good spot heading into the final 20 minutes.
Yes. Southern Utah is 0-13 on the road this season. How did they get their first road win here in Abilene?
Yeah, I mean, 0-13 is a tough spot to be, especially in your last day of January. You just got to keep doing what they did towards the end of that first half. You know, for the last 5 minutes, they were really efficient. They battled back, got out of that hole, focus on one play at a time. Find your stars, find Farrow and find Duvall. Really get them rolling here. Starts to dig out of it, and ultimately, if you can get within, 4 or 5 points with 2 minutes to go, you're in a great spot against a team that's lost 4 straight.
Absolutely. Well, that's all we have for you here at the desk. Thank you for joining us. We'll be right back after this. Hey guys, Madisen and Rowan back here. 5th straight loss for the Wildcats. How can they get themselves out of this rut?
Yeah, they got their look. They had one last shot there. It was Braden Hubbard, and off the back iron. Really tough one to see there, and dropped 5 in a row. That's a tough spot to be, but this team has been really good in February historically and not so great in January. They got to turn the page, and for Southern Utah, that's exactly what they did. They moved to 1-13 now in road play, which isn't great, but they got the one that mattered.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at our final stats. Elijah Duvall led the way for the Thunderbirds, career high, 29 points. Roman, what else do you see here?
Yeah, I mean, we heard from Coach Jeter there. He left his freshman point guard in and said, show me what you can do. 29 points is what he could do, 11 of 13 from the field. And it was clutch buckets down the stretch. We saw him matched up on Joseph Van Zandt, who's the Wildcats' premier defender. That's the guy who's going to lock him down. And he just got him with a little up and under play. It was fantastic. Wildcats had a great day. Rich Smith with 18, Sebo Newton with 17, and a couple of big buckets down the stretch. They just couldn't get the one that mattered, and Farrow was great as well.
Yes, let's take a look at our WAC standings. Roman, walk me through this.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really bunched up middle there, but the Wildcats and Tarleton State, probably not the 2 teams that we'd expect to be on 5-game skids. At the bottom of the standings are down there, UTA in firm control. They've been dominant, and then Southern Utah starting to climb back in. We just heard Rob Jeter. He sounds like a really confident and composed approach there. They know where they're at. They play a lot of their games at home down the stretch here. They're in a good spot, ready to attack.
Yes, Roman, let's take a look at our replays here. Southern Utah got their first road win of the season. How did they do it?
Yeah, I mean, they just played tough. They played in the game, took it 1 possession, 1 bucket at a time, and of course they cut down on the turnovers. I mean, 21 in a game isn't good, but when only 6 of those come in the final 20 minutes, you'll take that every day. I mean, some high-flying dunks and just some great defense from them. They played their game. They stuck with it. They weren't concerned about the scoreboard. They were concerned about getting buckets and ending up on the W side, and that's exactly what they did.
Yes, and for ACU, a lot of conference play left. What can they do to get ready for the WAC tournament?
Yeah, they just need to keep focusing on them. Brett Tanner's said a couple of times now they're learning, they're figuring this out. They're going to right the ship. It's just a matter of, you need to do that and you need to be really hot going into March because everyone makes the tournament. Ultimately, it's just what version of your game are you putting out there in March?
Yeah. Thank you for tuning in with us this afternoon. We'll see you next time.